Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Raising Vibration Radio, along with Journey into Consciousness. I'm your host, Reverend Raven, and the other host, Tammy Lucente, is right there. Say hi, Tammy.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
And we got a kind of a laid back show. We don't really have a guest this evening. It's kind of bittersweet for me. This is the anniversary of my life partner passing away today, a year ago. And so at 11:11, no doubt, right? At 11:11 in the morning, Cecil passed away. And that was our number, all the time we were going through the house going, oh honey, it's 11:11, and because he knew how important numbers were to me. So today I wanted to take the time, instead of like talking about anything else, I'd like to talk because of the pandemic and what a lot of people have gone through, losing people, and not only just from other things, but it seems like a lot of people have exited the planet this past year. Don't you think, Tammy?
I would agree. Yes. And a lot of people are walking through the grief process also.
Yeah, so I thought we would take the time to talk about that tonight. Uh, Getting through your grief, walking through it, and then thriving afterwards.
Exactly.
I mean, you're grieving. Let's face it, every day of your life, you're grieving something, because a little part of us is dying every day. But then we have new growth all the time, too, at the same time. But there is that letting go happening on a subconscious level for a lot of people.
I think it's ongoing constantly. It's just but when it's people that are very close to us and near and dear to our heart, it's a process all on its own. And I like that you're doing memorial and celebration of Cecil's life today. Um, and it's been a journey the last year. I'm sure a lot of people can relate.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what a difference this journey has been compared to 20, 21 years ago or 22 years ago when my first spouse passed away. And what a difference. I did not feel supported when Jim passed away, but I felt so much support when Cecil passed away. Not you, for instance, you drove down all night long to be with me the day that Cecil passed away. I mean, who does that? Drives, 12
But
hours.
what do
And
you attribute the monumental shift in the difference of your experience to? I mean, you've had time to reflect. What do you attribute that to?
well, so I was 30 versus, 50, 52 years old. So there's the age thing, the maturity thing.
Mhm.
Um, my energy, the way I thought, my thought process, that's really important. Where, I mean, not to say that I did not have a really understanding of death and energy, and that we never, we don't die, we just change forms because of the energy. And I understood that concept, and I knew that love continues on. And I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't blessed when Jim passed away, because he found ways to take care of me from the other side, and I was greatly. But the community effect this time versus last time, like I was accused of murdering my first husband, versus this time where, like, oh my poor dear, you were a saint. So it was total 360 opposite of
Yeah,
the outcome. So I did not kill my husband, by the way. They did a full investigation. He died
that
from
would be nice to
sepsis.
add in there. Yes. And on a side note, no charges were ever brought.
No.
That's good.
Well, no, and they, but no apologies were given either for even accusing me.
Mm.
I was straight up. Started talking, the neighbors, the church, everything. That's another thing. I was a very religious person back then compared to my spiritual person that I am today. So, religion and spirituality I have to say, are not the same things. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
So,
So
what a
your
difference there.
understanding of fundamental things back in your 30s has evolved. So you come, I would imagine, less from fear as you would have come from at 30, going through the loss that way, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yes, I had a lot of fear back then. I mean, I'll tell you the difference between then and now. I locked myself up in a room for 3 months. I had my parents
Mm,
come down, take care of my son, and I locked myself up in a room and did not communicate with anybody for three
oh,
months.
oh,
So that makes a big difference too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this
So
time, that was not the case. I don't think you were even afforded the case for that to happen.
no, the universe stepped in and provided me with beautiful support, energy. People, even before Cecil passed away, I had people sending him energy, sending me
Hmm.
energy,
Yeah,
uh, supporting, loving me. And I'm so thankful. That's another thing, the gratitude. I don't know if I had as much gratitude back then as I do now.
yeah. Hmm.
That makes a big difference too.
Yes. Maturity, a little, couple of years under your belt can change your perspective a lot along the journey, can it?
Yes, yes, it can.
So this year, what would you say if you were to break it up into quarters, how you process? Because I think it's funny. There seems to be a misconception that grief has a process and you feel this, then this, and it's really not the case. You feel all of it at different times and it has different effects. And so what was it like for you this year, and what did you use to fall back on in hard times?
So let's go for the first 3 months after his passing.
Okay.
Y- So you were down here and you saw the
For a
range of
couple of days, yeah.
yeah, you saw that range of emotion um,
Hmm.
that I was experiencing and walking through, and there was some fear there.
I think
Uh,
I was present during an immense period of denial and overwhelming grief going on simultaneously. You were really, it was just surreal. And at the same time, I could see you just hurting, but not even believing that it was like, like, wow, this is really here. I remember the weeks later, it really starting to sink in.
yes. Well, here's I don't know if the people know, but for a whole week before Cecil passed away, during
Hmm.
the pandemic, they did not allow me to go to the hospital.
I know.
And I usually am there to help pull him out of any situation that he goes into. But he was refusing things and they didn't force him. So that one thing led to another. I'm not blaming them. It's not their fault. They were just they didn't know how to deal with a mental health we still as a society don't know how to deal with mental health people
I
that have
know.
issues. Even in a hospital situation, they do not know. So instead of calling me, they left me out in the dark. They didn't, I had to, you remember me telling you I had to call in, begging, crying. People never called me
Mhm.
back. They finally, the day before he passed away, I got to see him on video and he was in this canatotic state. Like I haven't seen him like that and for such a long time. And that was really scary to see him like that. And I knew right when I saw that, I'm like, oh, he ain't got much hope. And the next day they called me at 5 o'clock in the morning and said he was gone. So, you know, that right there, well, not gone. They had him on life support, and I had to go make that decision. So, and I don't wish that on anybody. Having to pull the plug on somebody is not a fun thing to do. But lucky for me, he left at 11:11 on his own, still on the ventilator. So I didn't have to pull the plug, not like the first one. I had to pull the
Thank you,
plug on the first one,
Cecil.
right? What a difference that makes.
Mhm.
He croaked on his own instead of me having to help assist him to croak. I love that word croak. That's what Esther Hicks uses, croaking all the time. So I just love it. I love that verbiage. So because we're all gonna
We're
croak,
just all gonna croak.
yeah. But for the ones that do croak and are, they're lucky because they're pure energy. They're back over on the other side. Uh, they just know unconditional love. For us, though, we're just we're just going through all these emotions and all these strange things all at one time. Experiencing it,
Mhm.
the loss. The like you said, denial. I was in denial. Like I couldn't believe it because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't know if I would if it was more like it was just this surreal experience. I don't know if it was really denial or like you said, you couldn't be there. There was a level of you didn't have that closure to really have been there. And you know what I mean?
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I was there while he died. Don't get me wrong. They did let me come the last day, and they were going to try to ice him down and do more tests and all that. But at this point, if you're off of air or oxygen for 30
Hmm.
minutes, there's
But
no
he was
point.
already, yeah, like
They,
he was,
yes.
yeah, he
Yes,
really
and they were keeping him alive with
was.
medication for his heart to keep his heart pumping. Even on the ventilator, they had to give him. So the minute they quit giving him the cardiac medication, that's when he left the planet at 11:11. So it was like
Hmm.
3 minutes later after they quit giving him the cardiac
Hmm.
medicine, he was gone. So to me, that tells you he was ready to
Hmm.
go.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for him to go. I could have been selfish and said, "Oh no, let's do this all and everything." But what was the point?
exactly.
What was the point? But that first quarter, going back to the grieving process, was very interesting. I had so much love and support, though. I had people donating money to help feed me because you guys, I didn't have a job for the last year of Cecil's life. I gave up my job to stay home to
Mhm.
take care of him, and we were just living off of his income that he got. And the community stepped up, and my friends stepped up. People here on Facebook stepped up, sent me money, made sure I had food to eat. They made sure that that I was taken care of. The universe supported me. My bills were paid.
Mhm.
So what a blessing. I didn't have to think about anything at all whatsoever. So um, and then I put myself the next quarter, the next 3 months into it. I put myself in a situation where I didn't want to be alone. So I was, letting people come and stay with me, right?
Yep.
Because I was afraid of being alone. I've been with people all of my life. I have never lived by myself in the whole 52 years of my life. Have I ever lived by myself?
I just want to point out right now, I did tell you you would grow to like that, right?
Yes, you did. Yes, we will get to I didn't think I would.
I know.
I really didn't think I would get to the point where I would like being alone, but oh my God, I'm not so bad to hang around with, right? I really
Yeah,
enjoyed my company
yeah.
and I'm fine. I'm quite entertaining and and so, but I was inviting people to come into my circumstances and I was like, oh, wait, this isn't working out. What am I doing? But it took me 3 months. And
Yeah.
that was part of the grief process too, is trying
Hmm.
to find out who I was, what I wanted to move forward into my life, to continue on with my life. I wasn't really sure. I was all over the board, wasn't I?
And what your new normal would be, because especially when, when it's a spouse or a direct family member that you live with. It's a part of your everyday life. So what is your new normal without that person there? So it's very normal to want to invite people into the space and try to, have some kind of new normal.
Yes, I was looking to have that new normal, and it wasn't vibing with me what I invited in. Not at all. Not at all. So,
Now, why do you think that is in hindsight?
um, well, they tell you when somebody passes away, you should not do anything for a year.
Yeah, that's what they tell you.
Yeah, they tell you that, right? They like
Yeah.
don't sell
Your
anything.
best friends tell you that too.
Yeah, your best friends tell you. They say, you know what? You better just take the time and get to know who you are, what you want.
That's so uncomfortable. Just sit
Yes.
like you're already uncomfortable because of the loss. You feel like you have this big gaping hole inside of you. Oh, and by the way, why don't you just get to know yourself and just sit with that? Like, are you shitting me? Like anything's got to be better than this. So I understand why it takes them, like, it takes a while. But what's interesting is as you continue to go through this saga of the year, where you get to a year later, as you go.
Oh, I totally. I mean, I just can't. You've heard the conversations where I'd be calling you, going, "What have I done to myself? Why did I allow myself to get into this pickle or this situation?" And it was crazy. You really do need to take time when somebody you love that's in your
Mhm.
immediate energy field, that's in your surrounding 24/7. You really need to take the time to get to know who you are again, because you're not the same person anymore after they exit the planet,
Yeah,
or at least I wasn't,
yeah.
because my energy had integrated with his energy, and I was just a caregiver, right, for the last
Mm.
what 6 7 months of his life. um I wasn't Sandy anymore. I wasn't me at all. I was just an entity taking care of another energy that loved that person with all my heart and soul, but I wasn't. I was just there for him, and that was it.
Mhm.
So I should have really, really heed the advice, and I didn't. And I invited somebody in and tried to busy myself with other things too, right? Remember trying to go help that lady move to out west?
Yes.
What a nightmare. Yeah. So do take the time if you recently lost somebody that you're around, even if you're getting out of a relationship. This isn't just applied to
I was
Jeff.
just thinking that because it's very much, yeah, there's also a grieving and re affiliating yourself with yourself process to go through with any loss, which can be the loss of a relationship. Also, on a lot of levels, they can feel very similar as we go through them.
So Lisa just commented that she went and got a motorcycle license and a Harley when she lost somebody, so, or got out of a relationship. So yeah, you
Well,
do some.
Lisa, let me just tell you the last relationship I got out of 3 years ago, I literally went motorcycle shopping. I didn't actually buy a bike, but I went shopping one day with my daughter and I was thinking, oh, I think I might. And then I decided to do other things, but I can identify.
It was her husband after 25 years had passed away. Yes, I mean,
Yeah,
I only got 12 years or 11 years with Cecil. 12. This is the 12th
yeah,
year. 11 years. So I was with Cecil for 11 years, and he died at 11/11. So 11 was our number.
yeah.
But yeah, 25 years. The more years you're with somebody, the harder it is too, the grieving process. very much so. So she says, I had two teens and my husband and I both grew
Yeah.
up here and I couldn't escape. And so it was the bike was the answer. Yes, we're all looking for that escape. But for me, I was looking to keep my role going as a caregiver. So I looked for a wounded person to move into my house, right? To help whatever her situation was. She was homeless, a victim, and all this stuff. And I just pulled that right into myself, looking to help me move, on forward.
Yep. Oh, well, riding motorcycles, that's kind of like one of my charges is to just get out there and get the wind in my face. And I was just identifying with our listener. It's good.
Yep, I hear you. She says she met him at 9 and dated him at 18, married at 20,
Oh,
and he died at 47.
oh, there's
Wow.
some numbers, Sandy.
I know 47. That's 11 vibration that he left the planet right there, 47. And yeah, so young to have a relationship like that. You know,
Hmm.
that's crazy. But like I said, grief, whether it's losing somebody or getting out of a relationship, it's the same thing.
Mm.
Death,
Well, yeah, kind
well,
of.
death is final. You don't
Death
get to
is a
talk.
little more permanent, at least for the ones left behind.
Right.
Um, yeah. So then, what did the second half of the year look like?
So I got a job, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
got a job.
You got a job.
And oh, hold on a second. Dolores says my mom passed in January and I haven't reacted yet. That's
Um,
okay, Dolores. I took care of my mother for 20 years before she passed away, and you go numb. You go numb and everything. And losing your mom, you almost feel like an orphan too. When you lose your parents,
mhm.
you kind of feel like an orphan. At least I do. If anybody has any different comments to that, because both my parents are gone now. They both died at 65. First my father, then my mother. They were both 65. He died a year or 2 years before she did, and then she passed away. So it that's totally a different realm. And then your life partner passes away, and then you just have your kids. Yeah, you remember the story. Yes, Dolores. Yes, she's the sweetheart. Well, we need to have you on this show, Dolores, and you too, Lisa, because you both have interesting stories. I love to have you on here as a guest one of these days, real soon, because I'd like for you guys both to share your journey with us. Dolores does reverse speech.
What is reverse speech?
So that's where you talk and then she plays it back in reverse and she hears messages coming from, I believe, your subconscious, if I remember correctly. If not, like, yikes, laugh out loud. So I can't remember exactly, Dolores. So if you can type in there exactly what it is, but that's what I vaguely remember. I did it once, the reverse speech, but she is a practitioner in it and does it. She took she learned how to do
Uh-huh.
all that stuff. So yes. So
Excellent.
so I guess our when you listen to your reverse speech, I guess your subconscious is
Oh,
giving
that
you
would
a
be fun.
yes. Yes, you
Let's
definitely
do
need to
that,
try that.
Dolores.
Oh, Lisa says she ended up in a relationship with a twin flame, and that's a whole new world.
Oh, is it a fun world?
Yeah, I'd like to know the answer to that, Lisa. Is it fun with a twin flame? Have you ever met your twin flame, Tammy?
If I had, I would say it was my ex-husband.
Your ex-husband?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever met my twin flame.
I'm not positive either.
I'm not sure either. So um, we'd have to look into that. So
Or maybe I get the definitions of those all confused too. Mm, oh, I was reading comments.
Right? I know it is. It's cute. I,
So
you know,
is the twin flame the one that is like the relationship that's a nightmare, or is that the soulmate?
I didn't believe in it until it happened. So Lisa, tell us what's the difference between a twin flame and our soulmate. But Lisa, we should have Lisa. I've had her on a show previous before, before I took that long hiatus. Lisa's been on the show, and she's uh, what she does. She's a medium, but she also helps people to move forward in their life, and
Hmm.
to she's like a coach of some sort, and she's helped people with grief counseling and moving forward in their own right.
Excellent.
It's the
Would
greatest love
love
of
to.
your life and the worst nightmare you ever hid from. That's what
Oh,
she says.
that's what a twin flame is.
That's what she says. Yes.
Uh, yeah, I don't think I have a twin flame.
I don't think I do either. I wonder if every life experience do you hook up with your twin flame, or is it
I
like
don't believe so.
okay,
I don't know. I haven't as of yet.
I gotcha.
If that's the definition.
All right. So anyway, so the second half I got a job. I was, I decided to go to work in the public, being customer service rep for a company, a bank, no doubt, that does bank for health savings accounts.
Hmm.
And they claim it's your last lifetime because it's to do to come back together. Did you see that comment?
I'm looking. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, wow, I wasn't ready for work, apparently, especially to work with the public because I could get really like the things that would come out of my mouth, right? Like I was, I, you know, like I said, I don't think I was ready to work with the public. Just put it that way.
You
Uh,
couldn't maintain your customer service
I
space
could not. It
consistently.
was it was really hard, especially when they give you a little bit of training, they throw you out there into the universe to fend for yourself, and you're already stressed out, and everything, and then you got to talk to these people, and man, I had to pull it together.
But you know what, Sandy? I think that forced you to get up and do life every single day and got you through a big chunk on the getting away from the people. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And you spent time with yourself, even if had your challenging moments
Yes.
where, yeah, right? I think it kind of, and then you moved on to even more exciting things.
Oh yeah, instead of just taking the time to get to know myself and, get to really just be
You're
in the
going to get to
present
know
moment.
yourself really well real soon.
Yes, I know that. But okay, but my son kept coming down, his girl, and her dad has heart issues,
Yeah.
so they had to come down a lot more than they normally did, and so we got to talking and stuff like that, and she wanted to be closer to her parents because of the father having health issues, and her sister had health issues, so they decided that they were going to I said, well, you know what, you guys can move here in the house and I'll move out back. I'll turn the shed into a cottage and I will live out back. And so, working a new job plus working on towards building a tiny house and having them come down and trying to do my job from in my house with company, because I'm my job, you're not supposed to have anybody in your house, or you're supposed to have a room closed off so nobody can hear you. So that was quite the adventure, plus finding time to meditate, do the right things, and find time for myself. I really threw myself into a pickle.
And what are we doing here this evening? To
What are we?
just put the cherry on top. And you got Raising Vibrations Radio going again.
Yes, that's
So
exactly it.
you have not been resting on your laurels.
No, I have not. But
But the
but
tiny house is going to give you time to finally spend some time alone. And I think you probably released a lot of energy over the last year too and moved it around in a good way.
yes. Yes, I have. But I'm going to tell you something too about energy and other when you're going through something and you're grieving and you're going through a transition and a change in your life and you meet another person that's going through that,
Mm,
two energies that are having this shift or change, or I don't know what the verbiage is for this, but but you're kind of like out
going
of
through
whack,
this transition time.
transition time,
Uh,
and 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 there's this underlying connection, and you guys bump into each other. It causes sparks, it causes thunderstorms, it causes this release of energy to come when you got two hurting people that collide together. I witnessed that this year, which is
how
amazing.
so?
Well, um, I have a neighbor down the street,
Hmm.
a beautiful soul, but I didn't know it because I didn't care to get to know my neighbor down the street. Um, I just, in fact, we talked about last year about judgment, right? Letting go
Yeah.
of judgment and everything like that. But oh no, I was guilty of judgment. I judged the situation from what I could see on the outside, not knowing the person, not knowing their situation or anything like that. And what a bigot I was to judge somebody. I didn't have the right to do that at all. But apparently I did it on a subconscious level, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then after Cecil died, and I had a confrontation with her one night walking down the street, and she flashed a flashlight in my eyeball. I said something very nasty and ugly to her, and then she almost came off her hinge and hit me, but her girlfriend stopped her from hitting me. She stayed
Oh, that's
calm
good.
and everything like that. But here's the funny thing. I realized I needed those girls' help, and I had to reach out to both of them and ask them to forgive me and to help me out with the situation. And there's nothing more humbling in life to help you grow as a human being, to be humble and ask for somebody you think, like, I judge this person, right?
Hmm.
I judged them, and I had to go and apologize, let them know what I've been doing, and humble myself, and say I'm sorry. And it was a growth experience for myself that I haven't had. I didn't realize I was still judging. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak for the whole, but I would imagine on some level we all are. Um, Try as we may not to. But it's just interesting to really hold a moment and realize we genuinely never ever know what someone else is going through. Like we're quick to respond to their outward actions, right? It
Yes,
reminds me of A Course in Miracles, where it's a call for love, anger, fear. It's just a call for love. But it's easy to get offended and feel violated. I mean, shining a flashlight in your eyes when you're walking your dog is pretty offending.
it is.
Um, if you didn't realize there was something going on.
Right. Well, they said they couldn't see me, and it was dark, and they couldn't see me and everything like that. So you have to take the a benefit of a doubt with that.
Hmm.
I didn't know her husband, her husband, her son had been shot and killed. He got shot 7 times in the chest. No chance of recovering.
Yeah.
Um, it was mistaken identity. He was in the wrong place at
Um,
the wrong time,
ugh.
and so that she's been dealing with that. Plus, she has ovarian cancer, and there's nothing else they can do for her. Didn't know that. I mean,
Mm,
how many of us really know what's going on in our neighbors'
right.
lives?
We don't.
We don't. We should take the time. You know what? If anything, this pandemic has taught us what we've been going through for the past year is to really reach out and check on our neighbors, our elderly people, anybody in the community. Make sure they're doing okay. Check on them. Let them know that they're loved and supported, and help them out in any way that you possibly can. You know, but I'm seeing people snap right now.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed that?
I I haven't actually witnessed it. I've actually witnessed a lot more of people looking after people more and more community coming together than breaking apart here in the circles that I'm in. I was just at a park today. It was absolutely wonderful. Um, there were just all different kinds of gatherings going on at it. And I feel as though the general vibe has gotten much better. And I do believe that they're looking after people who live alone. Not, I went and checked on a client the other day, and I didn't want to offend her, but she's a little bit older, and I hadn't heard from her in a couple of days, so I just stopped by to just check on her. I think there's a lot more conscientiousness going on as a result of COVID, which from my perspective, I see as positive. And I guess it sounds like you're not witnessing that in Florida, but
Well, again, Florida, right? What can
yeah.
I say? Um, Now, I belong to the St. Pete Time Bank, and at the beginning of all this, they did start a phone tree, and I was on it to call people and check on them and make sure they were okay. And people called and checked on me. Because I was first going through with Cecil being gone. The time bank has been a saving grace. The St. Pete Time Bank,
Mm-hmm.
they have really stepped up community effort. But again, Florida has a whole collage of, it's a melting pot of different entities here.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear in the news, you see things in print, that there are some things, and then plus what I witnessed with myself with the neighbors, you, you know, uh, some of them, just going off and yelling at each other and causing havoc. And then you got others that are reaching out and wanting to help out each other. So I've seen both sides of it. I have. We have a lot of demonstrations here, more so than I think you guys do.
Uh, Richmond got pretty tore up there for a while. It's calmed down quite a bit. We had different little outbreaks going on. So, what is your takeaway at this point from the past year and remembrance of Cecil and the absence of Cecil and how the grief has impacted you?
Well, the grief has impacted me in a way to have more gratitude for everybody that's in my life, because at one moment they cannot be there. You know what I mean? Just an instant second. I knew that Cecil was going to pass away last year. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know when, but I knew that he was going to exit the planet. I already been forewarned. I knew it was coming. Um, and I was prepared for it mentally in a different way. There were, when Jim passed away, it was sudden. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have any warning. It was just, it was a shock.
Yeah,
It wasn't as shocking with Cecil.
exactly.
Um, but you, you know, I, the takeaway is to be humble, have gratitude, to appreciate everybody that's in your life, to come from love always. But also too, I've learned that it's really important that you love yourself. And
And to cherish every single day of your own life. I think we lose sight of the value of every day of our own life, like how precious it is, you know, like in all of the people that we get to enjoy. But like seriously, I have something that I read. I try to read daily, but it's, you know, you have a precious human life, and I think we really lose sight of that sometimes. And you know, we just get up and go about our life, but every day is a new opportunity to love, to have good times, bad times, all of it. It's just a precious human life. And
Yes. And you know what? You should follow your dreams and put action behind them, whether they're right or wrong, because we're not promised tomorrow. Like, let's take, for instance, I'm doing the tiny house out back.
mm-hmm.
Now, most people have said to me, I don't know how you're going in such a small space to live the rest of your life in. You know what I mean? And who says my rest of my life? You know what I mean? I, who knows how long I'm going to be here, you
Yeah,
know?
I know. Like, why make it so permanent? It's just what I'm doing right now. It's just what
It's,
I want to play right now.
this is the playpen that I choose to be in
Yes,
right now.
right now.
I want to see, you know, because I see it on TV all the time. I've been talking about tiny homes forever. You know, like I've been really wanting to do it. I'm giving up a lot to be into this tiny house, but that, yeah, I'm gaining a lot of things to be in this tiny house too.
Yeah.
I'm getting the bathtub of my dreams. I'm getting the toilet of my
In a
dreams
tiny house,
in
I
a
might add.
tiny house.
I'm like,
I mean, I got a 70 square foot bathroom and I got a jam pack full of cool ass items in there. You know, that, but I could never convince Cecil to move into a tiny house. He was like, no, I can't do that. Really? You can't do it? You sleep all day or you go outside, but you telling me you can't live in a tiny house. I know I can though. But I'm looking forward to the adventure. But I may get into it and say, hey, you know what? I don't like this. Who knows?
who knows? You don't know, but you've done it now. And regardless, I mean, you have two livable property, you know, residences on your property now.
Yes.
So it's all good.
It is all good, but I
If
mean,
Jill and Tony don't play their cards right, and if you're uncomfortable in there, they'll get tossed into the tiny house. So sorry if you're watching, Tony. Just kidding.
I wouldn't do that to him. You know, I wouldn't do that to him.
I know. I was kidding.
I
That's why
know.
I had to apologize to make sure because
Uh,
uh,
but I am looking forward to the freedom of not having such a big place to clean anymore. To be able to, you know, I don't know. All I work 3 days a week at my job, 3 10-hour shifts, and then that's it. I have 4 days off, and I'm loving it. And I'm going to look forward to being able to travel again soon.
mhm.
And
And I would like a visit very soon.
I know I'm
And
like,
I'll be in Florida very soon. Our little Tampa weekend. That'll
that's
be nice.
That's right. We're doing the Mind Body Soul Expo at the Tampa Fairgrounds. I think
Yeah.
it's the 19th of June that weekend,
Yep.
or the 20th or 4th. I don't. We'll post it later,
I
but
believe
yeah,
it's the 19th. Yeah,
yes, and
that'd be nice.
we're going to be speaking. We have the floor for what, 30 minutes or 45-minute lecture or something that we're doing. Yay!
Yay.
But it's going to be interesting, and then we're going to have our camera there where we can show people their
Mhm.
energy, their biofield, you know, how it expands out. We can show you your chakras too and how they're moving, so that's going to be
Mhm.
really
Check out if
interesting.
you have any blockages or I mean it's just really nice to be able to see it on camera for yourself.
Yes,
And the chakras come up very clearly if they're spinning or if they're blocked.
yes.
That's good.
Yes, it's really good. So that's going to be fun. So that's the good thing about what I'm doing is I'm going to be able to get out there and do more things and spend more time with people. I'm going to travel, you know. The next thing is if I dig this tiny house in my backyard, I'm going to get a tiny house on wheels with a
And
truck
yeah,
and go out and you know and have my home with me on the wheel.
that'll be fun. You and I will do road trips.
Yes. Yes, to go across the country and do this energy work and show people their energies and talk about this and everything. But I you know what? I look at Cecil's death as a gift because it started me on a new adventure. You have to look at grief like that. It's a gift.
It's a new chapter in life.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's something to be said about the last book, you know, and letting go of it and then embracing the new chapter in life too. Just just not lessening the whole grief process. Because as we sit here and have this conversation tonight, Sandy, on the one hand, it seems it's like, wow, it's already been a year since Cecil's passed, right? But on another hand, it kind of feels like, oh my gosh, look at everything you went through. And I don't mean the stuff you did, but just the gamut of different emotions and processes that you had to truly embrace as they came. So you know, it was bumpy roads, it was ups and downs. But I think the moral of the story is that's normal. It's just a normal process. That hopefully any listeners can identify with that and find comfort in, you know, and there's not a right or a wrong way to do it.
No. No, there's not and there's no time frame.
No.
God no.
Mm-mm.
No, I can still be in the car and hear a song and just
Yeah.
boohoo.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I
Wasn't it
boohoo
last
today.
week I was talking to you and you had just heard a song, or a couple weeks ago? He does a couple of songs come on often, and I swear it's the communication with you. I
Yes,
really do.
yes, Cecil communicates through me through songs, or he'll cause my phone to go off and play a. I mean, I won't be connected to anything, right? And my phone will be in the living room, and all of a sudden, an Elvis Presley song will come on,
Yeah.
or a CCR song will come on, or something of that nature. And I know it's him because one, I didn't touch my phone, and two, I haven't played the music app in well over a few weeks. So why did it start up on its own? Right?
Exactly.
Other than spirit trying to communicate to me.
Mhm.
And he does. And here's another thing that that man does over on the other side. Through my friend Kathy, she will just space out and start talking and I know it's him talking through her. And she doesn't even
Oh.
realize it's going on sometimes.
That's
I love her.
interesting.
Yes. Cecil talks through Kathy.
That's cool. I
Yes.
didn't really realize that. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Yes. Kathy came over this morning and you know we did a little celebration garden out in the backyard
Hmm.
to honor Cecil and she made me get his ashes out and we put them out back in the sun you know so he could get a little fresh air and then
Hmm.
I opened up the bag and I put some of his ashes in a glass ornament ball and she put seashells in there and then we took a toke of the herb and we blew the smoke in there for him. And then we
Oh.
glued the cap on. And there was this dead bonsai tree right outside because my son bought it from Georgia and brought it down, but he didn't take care of it. And so it died and it had these little leaves all over it. So I called it the death tree. And she sits there and picks the leaves off the death tree. So it's just a branch holding the ornament of Cecil now.
Oh.
It's cute.
Well, I guess it was your celebration.
It was. It was about
Yeah.
creating and honoring him, and
Yeah.
it was beautiful to
And
have
did
that.
she start talking and it was Did she say
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes, there was things that came out of her mouth, like, not to not let things overwhelm me or get me upset, but there was verbiage that only he would say that
That's
came out
only
of her
he would
mouth today.
use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
Just to remind me that we're not alone.
exactly. Or they're never really gone.
No,
It's
no.
changed form.
I'm
Yeah.
not a medium. I know I know people who are, that can communicate, with the dad. I
Mm.
cannot personally. It kind of creeps me out thinking that they could just start talking to me all of a sudden. For me, it does. I don't know what it is. I've been touched in the, I'll be in the kitchen by myself and somebody pulls my hair or touches me. But if I was going to see an entity, I think it's okay to see it in a picture, like an orb or something, but to actually just see a full on um apparition of a person, I think I would totally freak out. And I love
Oh,
talking about it.
really?
Yes.
That's so funny because a long time ago, my stepmother passed away in a car accident, and I had three younger siblings, and I was significantly older than them, so I came to take care of them. And they were young, like they were little kids. My youngest sister was 6, and I think my brother was 12, and my other sister was 9. And Lee was my stepmother's name. I would see her just like she would just walk through the living room, or I would see her like I would be going down the hall and I would see just like I knew it was her. It was just a shadow go across the hall to the other bedroom all the time, and I could feel her around, and I would just talk to her and say, "I know you're here." Um, And she did that for a good 6 to 8 months. I think she was really sick. It most likely had to do with leaving the kids, I would imagine. But it didn't freak me out at all. I think that's interesting. I didn't realize it freaked you out.
Yeah, it kind of does. So, was it you and I that were talking recently about somebody helping you out and then go to find out they weren't there or there was no record of that person?
Yes. You're talking about what I just told you the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so you want to go there?
Yeah, let's go there.
So let's see. It had to have been '06, and I was out with a big group of friends one night, and I'm a pretty loud, boisterous person, and when I get on a roll about something, it's kind of hard to shut me up. So there had to have been about 15 of us. We had all gone out bowling and then went out for pizza after. So it was a big long table and it was loud and noisy. And I was on a tear complaining about my ex-husband and fact that he didn't pay any child support, whatever. It didn't matter. I was really on a tear. And this older woman said to me, she shut me up. First of all, it was just she got my attention. I don't remember exactly her approach, but she had said to me, she said, you should pray for your husband. And I said, well, I do, and I really don't even want to repeat what I said that I prayed for him daily, but it was not a nice thing. And she said, well, if your husband was spiritually, mentally, and emotionally well, would he would he be of any threat to you or your children? Or could he cause harm to you or your children? And I said, no, absolutely not. And she said, well, pray for him to be just that. Pray for him to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually well. And I remember going home that night and being irate that that woman, even I was just angry. And but I did it, and I didn't mean it the first night, but I do remember within a week I was literally praying for that and for all of his new family. And they all just left my house just a couple hours ago. Um, and I've seen really beautiful things happen since then. But what's the most interesting thing that I'm just beginning to unpack, and now we're going to talk about it publicly before I've completely unpacked it, but it's pretty interesting. There were a lot of extended family was coming into town for family photos, and there was mixed families and a lot of animosity between a lot of these family members. And yesterday I was out doing yard work, with anticipation of them coming, and I was moving energy around, and I was communicating in my way with what I call creation. You know, I say it all the time. Whatever's making my heart beat, those trees grow. That. And I was just asking for guidance, on how to best walk through this to support the whole, meaning the whole organism of all of the extended family. And it was the craziest thing. I've got the leaf blower in my hand, and I instantly saw that night over again and interpreted being shown it that that was me talking to me back then. Now, I find that really interesting, very plausible as I sit there and say it, but I've always wondered if it was like an angel or something because nobody else remembered this person being there. And I remember it clear as day. And I still am very, very good friends with one of the people that was there and have brought it up recently. Do you really not remember that? How could you not remember somebody just shutting me up when I was on a roll and nobody remembers this person? And it profoundly changed my life, and immense amount of healing has happened through my entire family as a result of it. And it was really astonishing to have what just felt like a direct communication on some level of just showing me that yesterday. What do you got to say about that, Sandra D?
Well, I love it. I mean, you were
Yeah,
during
it
that time,
was.
you were grieving losing a relationship that was not really a healthy relationship in the first place.
Yeah,
And then to have a angel or your own self.
that was what was so weird. I always thought it really, like, I was like it had to have been an entity. It had to have been. I saw this person, and it was an older woman, and I can't even tell you what she looked like. I just knew it was a mature woman. And what I got yesterday was that there wasn't words, but it was like that was you. You were talking to you. And what I was also getting is you need to do what you did back then. Because remember, I was asking for guidance,
Yes.
and I was being shown and told, like, you've already done this once. You can extend it to the whole, like, just continue to do that. I would imagine. But it was just very, very interesting. I really want to spend some time alone and with that because I've never had anything come in like that before. So,
Well, let me just ask you this. After
well,
you did some meditation and prayer for them while they were here this weekend, What was the energy like today?
So it was really, really interesting. So we all had an incredibly amicable time. Now there were dynamics not within my family so much, but with the extended family of my son-in-law and my ex and his current wife. There was a lot of, we just happened to know there was a lot of stressors going on in everybody's lives, and it seemed like it could be a potentially um, toxic weekend. And I think it was very successful. I think we had a very harmonious time, and a lot of healing happened without even giving words to it. It's amazing the energy this one little baby has brought to the family and the opportunity um, for these things to happen, in my opinion. Yeah, pretty happy about it.
I, I love Skylar. She's a Sagittarius, which was Cecil was a Sagittarius. She here she comes bebopping along shortly after Cecil passes away. Like what, six
Mhm.
months later?
Yep.
Yep.
Been
we
a year.
not even a year, and here comes this little thing bebopping into your life. What a precious child! What a precious child!
Yes.
That's all I can say. She's going to be a handful, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I already know it. A very
It'll be
willful child.
interesting.
She's a very willful child. She will be.
Yep, she definitely. So I don't know how to be able to see all the chats.
So,
I'm trying to learn. I apologize, Sandy.
well, you just put Lisa's comment. Yes, it's a mirror to all of your truth and good and bad. So you put Lisa's comment up there.
I did.
Yeah, one of them. Hold on a second.
Oh
Let me.
no. What did I do?
Hold on, I
I
got it.
will stop. I'm going to stop touching things.
So over on the right hand side where it says comments, if you just click on that, it'll bring up the whole box of comments.
Okay,
You
but
see comments over
I,
there?
yeah, okay, let's just skip this because
Okay.
mine has all kinds of crazy stuff all over it. All right.
So anyway, we got through half of the year and everything like that, and then we come to today, and I'm still walking through crap because in my grief process of trying to create new space for myself and you know create a new life and everything like that, things still keep coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm witnessing it, I'm acknowledging it, I'm letting it go, walking through it, and I'm not having attachment to it, which was the hardest thing at first for me to do because I was like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I manifesting this? But it needed to come up for me to be able to walk through this and things. It's funny. I had a blowout with our host Tammy here, not what, a month ago, not even what, it was a couple weeks back when
Your
I had that
host,
blockage.
Tammy?
Yeah, you remember I was going off the handle about the blockage of that house and how there was like a blockage of my energy and things weren't
Mm-hmm.
going the right way,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with a relationship with my child who's moving here, which I'm very thankful to be near my child. Don't get me wrong, I love him with all my heart, but that kid can push my buttons. He can. And he's supposed to be in my life because we're growing together and we're learning from each other. And um you know I yes, I've been on years 9 and stuff still comes, right? Yes, Lisa is so, but you want to push it, you just want to push it down and not have to deal with it sometimes, and sometimes I'm guilty of that. It's pushing it to the side and not really dealing with it. And by creating other little projects so I don't have to think about it, right? And then it came to a blockage. And it was me creating this blockage. And when I verbalized something to you, everything broke loose and
Mm-hmm.
started back with the flow again.
Yay. Well,
Yay.
sometimes I think sometimes we really just need to just let it all out and hear ourselves let it all out and have a safe sounding board to do it, you know?
Yes, you do have to have a safe place, a safe person. And I'm blessed. I have you, I have Kathy, that I feel I can be myself 100% total. Oh my God, I'm choking up like somebody's trying to talk through me now. Ugh. Hold on a second. Yeah, you got to have those two people or three or whatever you need in your life, that somebody that you can totally be honest, and they let you be honest with them over no matter whatever comes out of your mouth, and they don't judge you for it, and they just let you, run off at your mouth with diarrhea or whatever. They let you speak, and then they remind you of who you are and what you're capable of doing without judgment. That's a beautiful thing. That is absolutely, and thank you both.
Thank you right back.
So I see you got your cards out.
I did.
You think we need a card for this conversation?
No, I just felt like it. So, look, instead of pushing the pain away, try to bring awareness to the feelings and see if you can stay present with whatever you notice. In her book, When Things Fall Apart, Hard Advice for Difficult Times, Buddhist teacher and author Pema writes, I like this. This is the part I underlined. I just thought I would share this real quick. To stay with the shakiness, to stay with the broken heart, with the rumbling stomach, with the feeling of hopelessness and wanting to get revenge. That is the path of true awakening. Sticking with the uncertainty, getting the knack of relaxing in the midst of chaos, learning not to panic. This is a spiritual path. Getting the knack of catching ourselves, of gently and compassionately catching ourselves, is the path of the warrior. Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
That
there's a
is
lot.
beautiful.
There's a lot of meat in that.
Yes, there is. So Nathaniel said, card, please.
We got the seeker in the lower world, the seer in the lower world. I'm sorry.
The seer in the lower world. That's an interesting card. Can you show it to us?
Can you see it?
Yeah, actually, I can. It looks like an Indian person, right?
45 and 31.
Okay. The seer in the lower world.
Mm-hmm. Would you like me to read them?
Yes, please.
The seer, the essence. The seer represents the capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life into the hidden realms where information is available to those with the discernment to perceive it. This symbol represents psychic perception, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. The seer knows truth, always seeks truth beyond all else, and sees reality as it truly is without judgment. The seer can read between the lines and understand what is not being said. He represents the power of clarity and being able to recognize patterns. The invitation. The seer invites you to trust your intuition and follow it as it leads you forward. You may feel lost when it appears that your hunch is taking you in circles or even through a maze, but the hidden realms don't follow the rules of the two-dimensional map. Trust your gut and allow your perception and your circumstances to widen, to include the nuances and subtle clues that you normally miss if you take things at face value. The seer has a gift, gifted you with this magic. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. Your vision is clear. The medicine, the seer has arrived now to challenge you to get out of denial and begin telling yourself the truth about your situation. Wishful thinking will not make you what you desire to happen when you refuse to see things as they are. The truth may hurt, but it will set you free and claim the bounty that is waiting for you to notice it. This is a moment of true power. The seer offers you this medicine. When you are ready, surrender your vision to spirit and ask to be shown the truth, no matter the price. Once you do so, your eyes will open and you will receive a powerful gift.
Wow. I just want to tell everybody what Lisa had to say. She says that I tell my clients my goal is to make comfortable being uncomfortable.
Your goal is to what?
To make comfortable being uncomfortable. To be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sit with it.
Yeah.
and and it's all part of it, there's no up without a down, there's no joy without sorrow. Like, how would you know one without the other? And all of them are beautiful in their own way. I think we're the ones who place judgment on them, personally. Are you reading?
Yeah, she says I should teach you to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, as the discomfort is the truth coming up to be seen and the emotions released. Well, let me tell you something. I'm an Aquarius. We don't like feeling any emotions. Plus, I'm a 4711, which has to be all mental crap anyway. And I really don't like dealing with my emotions. I don't like emotions at all. I just can't stand them. I think they're a waste of time sometimes. But you know what? In my Michael chart, I have to deal with the emotion. It's part of there.
Sandy, stop. Okay, so the lower world, the medicine. You are one of those people who do not like to face the past. Now your past is calling to be acknowledged, to be heard, to be embraced. The only way to become unstuck is to honor everything that has transpired in your life. Reflect on the lessons learned and move on. If you bear witness to your past and learn its lessons, it will stop haunting you. As you embrace its gifts, you will recover a missing part of your soul. It's all just parts of it. Fun, huh?
Yes, the lower world. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Get
Can we
comfortable with the uncomfortable. I'm sorry, go on. What?
Dolores wanted you just to pull a card for her. Can you pull one for her?
Yep.
You gonna get another deck?
Teal, black and white, green and black, blue, pink or purple.
Okay, we gotta wait for her to respond. Dolores, she asked you what color you'd like. While we're waiting for that, uh, card for me. Okay, Nathaniel, we'll get you. You gotta pick a color. So Lisa says, "Laugh out loud." I'm a Pisces. Oh, Dolores loves purple, so pick a purple. But Lisa says, Pisces. My whole life is emotional. Or emotions. I love that.
I'm Pisces rising. I get it.
And I got
You
all
feel
these
it a
air
lot.
signs.
Who picked purple?
That would be Dolores.
Soul's Journey.
Okay.
Are
Very,
you
very cool.
inquiring about anything in particular, Dolores?
It takes a few minutes when they respond on here for us to see it. There's a delay. Growth. That's beautiful. What does it say?
Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness.
Just security. That's her thing. Just security. Wow. That's an interesting
Okay,
thing.
so it was pertaining to security.
Yes. Which is really cool because of that growth card, right? Like,
You are constantly being presented with situations that enable you to develop your inner wisdom and assist you in advancing to your higher levels of understanding. The lesson is to be aware of these events and recognize them for what they are. To live a mindful life is not only about respecting and honoring those around you, it is also about recognizing every person and circumstance on your path as a teacher. The constant chatter and diversions of life on earth can distract you from the signposts that Spirit has left on your path. Take the time to be aware of the bountiful wisdom that has been laid before you. Acknowledge these gifts and take them to your heart as you continue your soul journey in this physical dimension. Don't look for opportunities that you think you need. Instead, be receptive to opportunities that are given.
wow, that is sweet. That's beautiful. And how I just like the way that pertains to her thing too with the security and stuff, because that's really important. Um, Nathaniel wants a green card, and Kathy wants a pink one.
Oh my. Okay.
And Dolores said, "Thank you very much."
You're very welcome. Hold on, guys. What was the next color? Green?
Green for Nathaniel. Nathaniel's been on the show too. Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember Nathaniel.
Yeah, he's out in California. I think he's living in San Francisco now.
Wow. How's the weather out there? I bet that's beautiful.
I bet it is
San
too.
Francisco.
Kathy says she worked in San Francisco in 1986. Do you remember 1986? I do. What a blast. I love the 80s. But what is such a selfish period in time, too, right?
I like the 80s. I had very big hair.
Didn't we all?
I had some very, very big hair.
Yes, it was our graduate year. That's the year that Kathy and I both graduated high school, 1986. I had a blast. I really did. I mean, talk about the adventures and the fun that I had back then. And I didn't even know that like Chernobyl took place. Like I was totally oblivious to it. I didn't learn about Chernobyl till like 20 years later. If that's crazy about living in my own little world and my own little bubble. Here's somebody that did not watch the news for anything and still don't to this day. My son talks about it, and that's how I learn about past events is from my son.
Nathaniel, you get the Hierophant. I am my own guru, and the guidance I need is rooted in my faith, my belief, and my unique essence.
Nice.
I don't know how to do that. You get
Yes, you
a
can see it.
happy boy, Nathaniel. That's a happy boy.
All right. So let's see here. Kathy, she wanted a, did I say
I think
pink
you
card?
said pink. I think you said
Yes.
pink.
Pink
Ooh, I like
or
these. We're
fuchsia.
getting. I like these. These are the light worker oracle. Who's this for, Nancy?
Kathy.
Kathy?
Yes.
Advice from Spirit, Kathy.
Oh, good. This is good for her. She's the one that came and helped me to she created the whole freaking celebration garden for Cecil out there. She
Oh,
did. She did. I posted pictures. She did
of
all of that.
course she did.
Over here. Okay, good deal. Oh, what is that? The Soul Family? Is that a 6?
No, it's not a number. It's Soul Family. It's got two whales, dolphins, two women. What it looks like what you guys were doing
Doing
today.
today, yes. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Oh, I like it. Hold on, I'll read you it. Hmm. Call on your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. It is the time to call on your soul family and support team. People who get you at a soul level, people who are the same kind of weird as you, people who you people who you are your chosen family. They are coming and they are looking for you. If you haven't found them yet, this is a sign that they are close by. But in order for them to find you and recognize you when they do, it is important that you stop dimming your light and truly let yourself be seen. If you have already found them, then you are being called to let them support you and perhaps also assemble a wider support team. Your support team can consist of all types of people, such as therapists, coaches, mentors, or healers. Tune into what kind of support you need now.
That is so beautiful.
Energetic upgrades. So, do you do any kind of energy work?
Does she do any energy work?
Yeah.
She communes with outdoors and energy and movement and that type of stuff. So
The bottom of the deck's got energetic upgrades, a new way of being and integration. So, probably be feeling some stuff. Excellent.
she
All
wrote
right.
she wrote no. Sandy knows me. Yes, I do. I know all of you. You guys are all amazing and beautiful souls, and I'm so blessed that you're on here listening tonight. And even for the ones that don't listen to us live, thank you guys so much for listening to us every week. We are going to have more guests on here. We have Miss Griffith. Gosh, I can't think of her name. The first name has just eluded me. She's an author. She was in the Ions meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, she's gonna be on the show coming up in May, and she's talking about how to let go of things and to move forward and really work on yourself.
What are we doing next week? Are we
I don't know yet. I mean,
okay?
I know in a couple of weeks you said you wanted to have Tom back on here. Um, I have to reach out to several people to get them to be back on the show again. Like Dolores, I'd love to have her on here again, and she's amazing talking about her reverse speech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we definitely got to have Dennis on here talking about the energy work that we're going to do. We're meeting with Thor on the 6th, so we're going to be, really
That's
pushing
like,
the
isn't that next week? Is that next
no.
week? Or it's the week after?
The week after. The week after. We still have another week of April.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some big moving and changing and shifting going on here. Um, but yeah, I need to reach out. I would like to have Sandra Dawn on here too as well. You have people you want to have on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you reached out to them.
I haven't. I've still been in crazy, crazy, crazy busy baby world trying
Hmm.
to it's probably getting ready to get a little less hectic, I would imagine. She's getting bigger now, So I'm
Right.
I'm anticipating in the next 4 to 6 weeks being a lot things calming down considerably. So I know I want to have some guests on for Breathworks and Al, and we will be bringing guests. I wonder if I get Sandy Ward on. That would be really nice too.
Yeah, the more Sandys, the better. I'm totally all about the Sandys. Because that means helper of mankind. That's what our name, because it's short for Sandra, which means helper of mankind.
Uh,
Alexander the Great. So just to build my ego up here a little bit.
yeah. What does Tammy mean?
I don't know what
I
Tammy means.
have
Hold on a second.
no
I'll look
idea
and
what it.
see.
Oh, I guess I could do that, right?
Well, I mean, everybody's name means something. Is Tammy short for anything, or is just Tammy?
No,
That's the
I'm
name.
just plain Tammy.
Tammy. Okay. Meaning. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look and see.
Oh boy, great.
Tammy is a feminine given name. Thomasina. It's short for like Thomasina or something like that. It's a Greek Aramaic name, and it means like a twin
I'm a
of.
twin.
Yes, Tamar
Huh.
means palm tree or twin.
Hmm.
So you're a palm tree
Or a twin.
or a twin.
I'm one of those people that no matter where I go, people walk up to me and go, you look just like somebody I know. I swear you'd be twin sisters. I get that like all the time. So I believe that like twin thing. I probably have lots of them.
I gotcha. Well, that's what your name means.
Well,
Every
there you go.
and you know what? We need to find somebody that on the show that talks about names so we can do a show on what your name means. You know what I mean? And the energy involved with your name.
And you can do your numerology.
That's right. I haven't done that in so long. I need to play with that again. But no, I'm just seriously though. The energy,
Of a name. Yeah,
and we pick our name coming into this soul. Our agreements and stuff like that with our parents and all that stuff coming onto this planet. We actually know what our name is going to be before we even get down here.
probably.
Well, remember you put me onto that book, the Soul's Journey,
Yep.
and it talks about that. I mean, I like totally resonated with everything. I
It
didn't know.
resonated with me too. I mean, I was just like, yeah, that makes sense to me. But
Yes, yes, it is. Well, anyway, we kind of veered off topic tonight, back to the grief and walking through it and all that. But this is part of it, though. Like, it's okay to go off on a different tangent when you are grieving, um, and walking through because that helps you thrive
hmm
to get to the other side. So this kind of goes along with everything we've been talking about tonight and reaching out and getting help from everybody. Always ask for help. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help for anybody, whoever it is.
exactly.
Yes, because you got to like I said, I had to reach out, which I don't like asking for help because I'm stubborn as all get out, and I'm like I can do it myself. No, if one thing that's taught me this go around with everything with Cecil and all that, I need to reach out and ask for help. It's okay to ask for help to get through a situation. So you too should be able to ask for help. Don't
Mhm.
judge yourself for it. Don't condemn yourself for it. Don't do anything. Just ask for help to get through anything. It's okay. If that's one thing I can put out there for anybody tonight. So, do you have anything that you want to say before we close out the show? Because we got less than a minute.
No, I'm just happy that we're continuing on. And, I just want to tell you that I love you. And again, I'm just really proud of how you've made it through the last year, Sandy. I know it's been challenging and hard, and it's had joy and sadness and the whole gamut of all of it. And it's just really been an honor to be along for the ride with you. And I think you've done an amazing job. Just keep getting up as best you can on every given day
Yes,
with
that's
a
true.
great attitude to the best of your ability. I mean, you've been a light in my life. So
Well, you've been a light. Kathy's been a light. Everybody on Facebook has been a light. I'm just so thankful to have such beautiful energy. But just know that when you're grieving, you're not alone. There's people out there that can help you get through any situation. Just go and ask, you know, and be open to whatever suggestions they make for you. Don't don't like make a quick reaction or a judgment on whatever they say to you. Just be open and listen to it, because that's when we really learn. When we're going through a difficult situation, when we've lost somebody, that's when we're the most receptive in our life to continue on this journey. So I'm blessed and I love you, and I'm very thankful for you being in my life.
I love
and
you.
uh and thank you for talking me into doing this again.
Oh, all right.
Uh,
So until next week, everybody, I guess we're signing off. Are we not, Sandy?
yes, yes, we're signing off. Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Raising Vibration Radio and Journey into Consciousness. I'm Reverend Raven, and we have Tammy listening
I'm
in.
Elise Day.
Tammy, the
Good night,
twin.
everyone.
Good
The
night.
twin.
Bye bye.
Bye.